What's up, everyone? You're very welcome along to this week's Anfield Agenda. I say this week's, tonight's Anfield Agenda. It's a day before the Reds play Napoli in the Champions League. Big game, massive game. We've a lot to get through on tonight's show. I've got my notes done up. As always, I'm waiting for you guys to come into the chat because this is your show. I've got a whole new thing now. Look, I've got a little mobile iPad in my hand so I can read the chat properly. I don't have to keep glancing away to my left. And all the stuff we previously had to do. The joys of technology, huh? I'm coming into the 21st century. Here we are. Have my own stream live. It's brilliant. It's great stuff. Able to read the chat. First one in as well. How are we? How is everybody doing? I am absolutely tickety-boo because the Manx have fucking fucked up again. Jose, God bless you. God bless you, Jose. Long may you stay. How's everybody doing? I hope you're all well. Lots for us to get through on tonight's show. I've got all the details for the Napoli game. I've got the Reds who travelled. I've got everything that we need to get through the game, really. Starting 11s, who's fit, who isn't fit, who's available for Napoli. Lots and lots and lots for us to get through. As I say always, this is your show, so you let me know what you want to talk about. I'm going to dip into the chat straight away, see how everyone's feeling. Evan's in, Squisms is in, Thomas Boland is in, Damo. How are we? Corey said, I'm in Italy. Are you there for the game, Corey, or are you just living over in Italy at this point, or on your jolly bobs, mate? But either way, are you going to drive down? Huh? Is Naples far away? Can you make it? Let me know. How are you doing, said Lindsay. I'm fucking brilliant. Thank you, Lindsay. I am doing really well. Too much light. I know. This is the funny thing. You guys understand there's too much light, as you can see. But me and Connor spent an hour trying to go through this stuff. The lighting is really low. Whatever it is about this piece of shit camera that I'm using, and I will be buying a new one when I'm in the States next week. Yeah, the lighting looks too high. My face looks really bright, but there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. I can't change it one bit. It's crazy. Connor's had a go. We've all tried on this one. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about it. But anyway, look, let's get into tonight's show. Lots for us to get through. I've my little agenda done up. So the Reds boarded their flight today at John Lennon Airport to head over to Naples for tomorrow's game against Napoli in the Champions League. Everybody looked happy getting on the flight, which is great to see. And the Reds took a full 23-man squad over there for the game. We've a little bit to get through. We will, of course, talk about the starting 11 because this is the big topic of conversation, particularly with the game against Manchester City coming up at the weekend. I have a few other bits and pieces as well. For anybody who wants to see a video of the Reds heading off, you may have seen it on the Liverpool account. If you haven't, you can also check it out on the Anfield Agenda account. Go over to our Twitter account at Anfield Agenda, and we've the video there, the Reds heading off and they're playing at John Lennon Airport. All smiles, but you'd expect nothing less because the squad must be in a really good place at the minute. We see Manchester City, our opponents of the weekend, snuck a 2-1 win today at Hoffenheim, so congratulations to them, I suppose. Maybe, if, jammy cunts, whatever way you want to call it. United again tonight, 0-0 at home. That's brilliant though, that's absolute comedy gold. I was watching the game, and this is a Liverpool channel, so we'll barely talk about this one, but I know you guys will want to a little bit. It was played at walking pace. Absolute walking pace. Like theatre of dreams, my arse. The fans inside the stadium were quiet as fuck, bored as fuck. They just looked like they didn't want to be there. I keep saying, it's good enough for these Max. Fuck them. Right, what else have we got? You're a little ray of sunshine, Craig said. Damo, it's a shame about the Manx, said Stephen Taggart. It's a damn shame, Stephen, isn't it? I mean, your heart bleeds for them, doesn't it? Those poor old Manx having to put up with Jose Mourinho. Do you know what, though? The biggest fucking joke of it all is that Paul Pogba lad. He can be amazing once every 25 weeks or something, but most of the time he takes too much out of the ball, tries to prove that he has upper body strength by holding people off and taking too much out of the ball when there's 2 or 3 passes available to him. He's absolute fucking fraud in that team. If he was in another team, under another manager, you never know. But the way things are there at Manchester United, it's not working out for him. Alexis Sanchez was a fucking disgrace. The only player on that United team to me that looked like they gave any type of a shit whatsoever was Marcus Rashford. I thought he was quite lively for them. I wish I could be tuning in to see somebody else Gark meltdown, but I'll catch up with it later on. But as you said, this is a Liverpool channel. Let's see how everybody else is feeling. Nah, Pogba fucked up and then he tried diving, said Louis. I've seen that one. He was in a defensive position, gave the ball away, and then fell down as if to be like feign injury, looking for fucking sympathy or for the referee to pull up. Fuck off, Pogba. You're just shite, mate. Get over it. Deal with it. But this is a Liverpool show, guys. We don't want to talk about United. We don't want to talk Manchester City. We want to talk about the Reds. So first things first, Klopp spoke to the club's website during the flight, pre-flight, speaking into the club's website. And he said, we've no unusual knocks. Everything is fine. There's nothing more, so that's good. We've 23 players with us, and let's hope nothing happens. The conversation then turned to Virgil van Dijk, and the gaffer confirmed that he's fine. He felt no ill effects after the Chelsea game, which is great news, and I'm sure what we all want to hear, because let's be honest, the thoughts of an injured Virgil van Dijk is not something we want to be going through. Divock has been in full training as well, he said. He's been outstanding, in good shape, so that's good news. It's quite difficult. The competition within the squad at the moment is quite deep. So Divock Origi travelled as well, fully training. I don't want them near the team, if I'm being honest, even if this is somewhat of a second team we're putting out at Napoli, and I hope it isn't. I hope we go as strong as we possibly can. For me, Divock Origi has had this opportunity. I don't really want to see him in or around that first 11 or even in the first 3 substitutes. That's just my humble opinion. Great to have the good news on Van Dijk. Great to hear that he's going to be fully fit and available for the game. A couple of people were worried if he'd be rested or if he picked up any little side effects of the knock to the ribs. We all know how painful it can be if you pick up a knock to the ribs. So fingers crossed. Great to see that he's okay. We'll get into the starting 11s, but before I give you mine, I just want to know what you guys are going with. We spoke all week about the teams. We've gone back and forth. We've said a couple of players here. The main differences are always seem to be in the midfield and a couple of changes in the front for some people. But do let me know, guys, if anybody has a surprise up their sleeve for me, or anybody has a couple of selections that they think Klopp might pull out of his backside, let me know. Right, let's go into the chat and see how everybody's feeling. Not a fan of Origi, says Red Tick Gaming. Salute CSKA in Moscow, says Squisms. Craig, you're putting bets on VVD to score a header again. You know I am, Ben. Every game, Craig 6 of 5 on VVD to score a header. Goes without saying. Has to happen. As somebody mentioned there in the chat as well, salutes to CSKA. They beat Real Madrid 1-0. What a shock result that is. And there was a few shock results tonight. Bayern Munich held a home to Ajax as well, 1-1, which was a shock result. Real Madrid getting beaten 1-0 over in Moscow. Definitely a shock result. Valencia being held 0-0 at Manchester. What a shock result that is. Valencia must be really disappointed with that result. If they had brought their shooting boots, they probably could have won that game easily. So your hearts go out to Valencia. Hopefully they can regather themselves for this one. As for the Manx, fuck them. Other results tonight, nothing really of note. Bit of an interesting game in Athens, AEK versus Benfica. I didn't get the final result, but as I was leaving, it was 3-2 to Benfica after what looked like an absolute crazy game. Benfica went 2-0 up. AEK Athens came straight back into it, scored 2. I think there was a red card in the game as well, and then Benfica went up and scored a winner near the end. I say a winner. I haven't seen the final result. It was deep in injury time when I left here to set up for tonight's stream, so I'm guessing they held on. So another crazy result in the Champions League. Is it getting harder, guys? Is it getting harder to pick out wins? Are teams either one, not as good as they used to be or as powerful, or are the teams that we consider lesser teams perhaps being a bit more coy, bringing through younger players, giving them a chance, and is this coming back to benefit them? Let me know what you think, because some of the games that we would have considered bankers in the Champions League in years gone past, and I'm not talking about for Liverpool here, I'm talking about for all the big clubs. There seems to be more and more shocks coming through. We've seen Manchester City getting beat at Lyon. And by the way, Lyon tonight drew 2-2 with Shakhtar. They went 2-0 down and came back and drew 2-2. So a couple of shock results in this season's Champions League already. Thankfully, we beat PSG 3-2. We're not hoping for a shock result tomorrow. I think we can go there, pick up 3 points against Napoli. A point wouldn't be the end of the world. I have some team news from Napoli that I'll go through a little bit later on in the show. But as I said, I want to know your team selections, because that's what it's all about. Whatever 11 takes this field tomorrow, the people are going to get us the results. So let me know. I'll dip into the chat now, see how you're all feeling, and see what team selections we have. Fakir got an assist, said Mickey Friars. Craig, you're wearing an Under Armour top. You're a traitor. I am, mate. Definitely am wearing an Under Armour top tonight. But don't worry, I have an Adidas t-shirt underneath here. So I'm kind of just cold at this moment in time. I've told you guys before I liked Under Armour. I've said that if Liverpool were to change kit manufacturers, I wouldn't mind a bit of Under Armour. But let's be obvious, honest here, they do make some fucking cracking gear. So I know it is funny though that you guys automatically just assume we'll be wearing Adidas every night, because I've been wearing it for the entire summer. It was worn then. When it comes to jumpers, my game is a little bit different than hoodies. I think the lineup for tomorrow night will be Alisson, Trent, Gomez, VVD, Robbo, Fabinho, Keita, Gini, Salah, Bobby and Mane, says Matt Nearthan. Junior said that Real Madrid just aren't the same since Zinedine Zidane left, and it's not just him, to be fair. I mean, losing Cristiano Ronaldo, although it was probably the right time for Madrid to move him on, it's a big loss for them to take. From a psychological perspective, the fans would have obviously wanted Gareth Bale to step up and fill those shoes left by Cristiano Ronaldo. Will he do it? That remains to be seen. We all know that Gareth Bale is a stunning player, but he can't really go through a season without picking up some injuries at this point. Also, the manager likes to look to youth. The manager that's in there now, Lopetegui, he was the youth team coach for the Spanish national team before he obviously became the Spanish coach, then got fucking fired before he went to Real Madrid because of the way that was announced. But yeah, he likes to blood young players. He likes to give young players a chance. So I wonder if, listening to what Florentino Perez spoke about during the summer, will they perhaps reevaluate the way they go about buying players? He said that they're going to try and buy the best young players in the world. I'm not buying it. I still think they're going to go in and try and sign Neymar. If you still consider him a young player, I suppose, then you can bend the rules a little bit in that sense. But for me, I'm not buying it. I don't think Real Madrid or Barcelona are as strong as they were in years gone by. So I was only saying to somebody earlier on the phone that I think this season's Champions League could probably be the most open Champions League in the past 7, 8, 9 years. Like, I'm finding it really tough to pick a winner. Manchester City may be the favourites with the bookies, but I'm not having that. I don't think Manchester City are going to go on and win this season's Champions League. There's just something in their psyche that just makes me think they can't quite get over the line. And I can't pick a winner. I'm not going to be bold and pick Liverpool either. I definitely don't think it'll be Real Madrid, although who thought they would have won it 3 years in a row. Barcelona, we'll find out a little bit about them when they go to play Spurs tomorrow. That'll be an interesting game. Of course, we'll be playing Napoli tomorrow, guys, and we will be doing a watch along of that game. I'll be downstairs for that one, so the lighting will be a little bit different. It'll be a little bit more normal. So I hope you can join us for that one. Kickoff's at 8 o'clock, so we'll be going live at about 7:30 for that one, and I'll be taking you straight through the game. I felt really disappointed that we didn't get to do a watch along of the last game, but I promise you, tomorrow night we will be set up, we will be ready to go. The technology is all fixed, and we'll be rocking for that game, because it's a very interesting game ahead of what's a very big week for Liverpool Football Club, culminating of course with that game against Manchester City on Sunday. I'm already licking my lips, looking forward to that game. I'm expecting a goal fest. I'm expecting a basketball style game, a football team just going back and forth, back and forth. We heard tonight at Old Trafford, attack, attack, attack. We heard them holler it from the stands and didn't fucking happen. But I tell you what, at the weekend, City against Liverpool or Liverpool against City, that is certainly what's going to happen. Two managers that like to play football in the right way, open, expansive. Two managers that back their own players to deliver the goods, that believe in their own systems. I can't wait. I really can't wait. I hope we get through tomorrow. I hope there's no injury concerns. Of course, I hope we pick up the result, but mainly it's Sunday, because what a way to head off into the international break. McGregor, of course, fighting the night before. McGregor, Khabib, Saturday night into Sunday morning. Few hours kip, and then up for Liverpool against Manchester City. What a fucking weekend this is shaping up to be, guys. Let me know your plans as well for the weekend. This stream will mainly be about Liverpool Napoli tonight, of course, but let me know. It's a big, big week in sport. The Reds against Napoli, McGregor against Khabib, and of course Liverpool against Manchester City. So much for us to look forward to if you're a sports fan. Craig, could be worse. They could have an Umbro top on. Nah, Stephen, that's never happening, mate. Never, ever, ever wearing an Umbro top, ever. I mean, not just no, mate. It's just not going to happen. I have some type of morals, and Umbro are just dog shit, if I'm being honest. Absolute dog shit. I wouldn't even put it on me, dog. That's how bad I think Umbro are. And they make the Evshite shirts as well, so, you know, match made in heaven there. Hello Sunshine, said Gary Richards. They should use Vince's Jr. more. Vince's Jr. Louis, man, you've lost me on that one. Absolutely lost me on that one. Every day is a school day, said Squisms. Craig, could be worse, you could have Umbro on. Louis going Liverpool 3, Napoli 1, or Napoli 1, Liverpool 3 tomorrow night. Do you agree? Let me know. I think that's a pretty good score projection. I think there's going to be goals in this game. The thing about Napoli at times is, from what I remember watching them, they can retain possession quite well, but sometimes they just lack that clinical finish, and they almost try and, if you think about Arsenal in years gone by, where we used to say that they try and score the perfect goal, they overthink things at times, they try and make things too beautiful. Napoli can be the same, and anybody who believes that the game in the summer in Dublin will be anything like the game that's going to take place tomorrow night, please put that out of your head. You're not going to see the same type of Napoli team tomorrow at home in Naples that you've seen in Dublin in the summer. It's going to be a much, much, much tougher game. Anybody who's expecting us to go and roll over them 5-0, relax now. You might be in for a bit of a disappointment. I'm not saying we're going to get the win, but Napoli are going to be a lot better organised. The Italian league started after the Premier League, so they were a couple of weeks behind us in the pre-season when we played them in Naples. So don't expect the Reds to just go over there and roll over them, is all I'm saying. Soccer sucks, hockey's better, said Johnny Gooch. Fuck off. Honestly, look, lots of love, Johnny, but just fuck off. Hockey's better than soccer. Would you? Oh, that's just no, mate. And even calling it soccer is wrong. It's football. It's football. It is football. I mean, it was invented. It is football. Let's be honest. Hockey's better than soccer. Oh man, you made me laugh. And again, no disrespect, Johnny. You know we love you, mate. No disrespect there in that one. What else we got? Napoli 1, Liverpool 2 for Mega Nonky. Vinicius Jr. is a player Real Madrid bought for €45 million. Thank you, Junior. Schooling me again, saving me, stopping me from embarrassing myself, mate. So thank you on that one. I think I remember you saying him to me before, Junior, actually. I think when they bought him, you were saying to me how good he was. I've got to give you credit on that one, buddy. I think you were right on the money during the summer when that one was taking place. Craig, what about Bulta or Gola? Gola, fuck off. If we're talking about Gola, Gola was a poor person's boots when we were growing up, and I've never even heard of the other mate. So, I'm gonna have to let that one go. But Gola, nah. Make some nice bags. That's what I'll say about Gola. They make some nice man satchels or whatever the fuck those type of bags are called. Johnny, you're doing the Dele Alli challenge there in the picture. I'm not gonna lie, I had to go with that as well when that one came out. Fucking nailed it. Not a bother. Hockey sucks cock, football is the best, said Gary. Now there you go. Hockey sucks cock, football is the best. I did tell you guys I had a bit of team news for Napoli, so why not get straight into it and tell you what the Napoli manager Carlo Ancelotti has had to say. So Napoli's recent injury absentees included Chiriches, Goulam and their goalkeeper Alex Meret or Murray. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Carlo Ancelotti said, he was giving little away in his press conference on Tuesday. He said, "I've something in mind for the team. I think I'm going to make a few tweaks. Regardless of who plays, what remains the same is our strategy and the mentality of trying to impose our game. We need to keep a balance throughout the game. I think we have a strong team that's achieving levels of excellence in terms of its play and mentality. At times we're not able to maintain our consistency, but I'm confident with every time that we can improve. I'll look on the fitness of the players in the final training session. Liverpool will play very high intensity, so we'll need to be ready for that. It's important that we show bravery and personality, implement what we've worked on, and be ready to withstand their counter-attacks. If we play the way we know how, we know we can cause Liverpool problems." So a lot and nothing being said there by Carlo Ancelotti, really. He's backing his players. He's basically saying that everybody's ready. He believes who's going to come in will be good to go. Paid Liverpool a little bit of a compliment as well, saying that there's going to be a high intensity game. We're very dangerous on the counter attack. Yada yada yada. For me, man for man, Liverpool are a better team. The only real advantage I suppose you give to Napoli is that they're the home team in this game. The crowd will be behind them. But if Liverpool show up, if Liverpool play like they have played so far this season, I'm very confident we can go over there, particularly with our defence being as strong as it is. Napoli will come to attack. They will have to score. They'll know that. They are also perfectly set up to play on the counter-attack at times. They have pace. So one of two things will happen here tomorrow. This could be a cagey game. Both teams kind of holding back a little bit. It's a bit of a stranglehold in midfield. Or Liverpool could do what they've done previously. They could look to play a long ball over the top and win back possession higher up the field if they lose, to try and win back the second ball early. Interesting to see what Kloppo's going to do. The pressure is on Napoli though. They are the home team. If they're going to want to get out of this group, then they're going to have to start picking up 3 points at home. You'd expect Liverpool to pick up 3 points at home against Red Star. Of course, we've already done it against PSG. And Napoli, again, the same. We'd be expecting, let's be honest, with all due respect to Napoli, at home, at Anfield, we would be expecting the 3 points. So for them tomorrow, they've got to come, they've got to try and open us up. And the pressure will be all on them. So interesting to see if we're going to sit back, soak it up in counter-attack, or if Klopp has something else up his sleeve. You know he does. I mean, Klopp always has a plan, and 9 times out of 10 he gets it spot on. Right, so what else have we got? One game I haven't been to is a European night at Anfield, said Louis. Mate, that's the game you want to go to, I have to say. I've been blessed to go to many games at Anfield. Not as many as some of you in the chat, I'm sure. I'm sure there's people in our chat that go every week. But the games that I always remember, the ones that have always meant the most to me and send those shivers down my spine, have been the European nights at Anfield. Underneath the lights on a Tuesday or Wednesday night. It doesn't get any better. So yeah, I'm with you, man. If you do get a chance though, Louis, do go. It's a different experience to me. There's just something in the air. We spoke about it before. Champions League nights at Anfield. It doesn't go down in folklore for no reason. There really is something special about it. Nothing better, Louis, said Paul. And Paul, yeah, Paul's spot on as well. I know Paul goes to many games. Sounds like Ancelotti is shitting himself, said Cameron. Of course he probably is. Let's be honest. All managers when Liverpool rock up to town, they're going to be worried about us. We've seen Pep Guardiola in that documentary with Manchester City say he was worried about the Liverpool front three. This week he's come out and said he's not really worried about what Liverpool are going to do. He's going to do what they're going to do. That's what he says to the fucking papers. But we all know he's worried. Of course he's going to be worried. Who wouldn't be worried coming up against this Liverpool team? With regards to Carlo Ancelotti, he's under a little bit of pressure. He had a decent start to the season with Napoli. They got beaten by Juventus 3-1 at the weekend. And look, that's no disgrace. To go to Turin and get beaten 3-1 by Juventus, that's no disgrace whatsoever. Juventus are a very good side. They had a 3-0 win, by the way, tonight in the Champions League at home against Young Boys of Bern. No Cristiano Ronaldo because he was suspended, but Paulo Dybala scored a hat-trick. So that's only going to soar his value, and any team looking to get him now, they're going to have to pay mega bucks to get him out of Juventus. But getting back to Napoli and Carlo Ancelotti, you wouldn't have expected him to come in there and try and change the way Napoli play too much, because the system Sarri had implemented for them and set up worked really well. So you'd only expect a few tweaks from the Napoli that we've seen over the past couple of years. They're a very decent side. They've got some really good players. We spoke before about Insigne, who we all know what he can do on his day. Personally, I think at times he can be a little too greedy on the ball. He can try and take the weight of the team on his shoulders. Feels like he has to make something happen. Then you've Mario Hamsik as well. Hamsik is getting older though. He can't really get through a full 90 minutes, particularly not at the high intensity levels in the Champions League. So if he starts, I'd expect to see him substituted somewhere between 60 and 70 minutes. Obviously, we all know about Koulibaly at centre-back. The goalkeeper is the one that they brought in, Ospina, the one they brought in from Arsenal in the summer. We had hoped, some of us, that they would take Simon Mignolet at the time. It was between the two of them. They took Ospina in the end. Other players that we suppose we'd have to worry about, there is, what's the guy's name that we will, Zielinski, another player there. And they've got that, what's the striker that they brought in? The one that did his ACL as soon as they brought him in. I can't think of his name now. I'm sure one of you guys in the chat are going to let me know. When they got rid of Higuain, they brought this guy in. I can never think of his name. Even when I'm watching the games, I can't think of his name. But they do have players there. They've got Callihan as well, who can be very dangerous going forward. So don't underestimate them. Don't underestimate them at all. They're a decent team. They've lost a couple of players, of course. They lost Pepe Reina in the summer to AC Milan. They lost Jorginho, one of their most bright sparks. They lost him, of course, to, well, I was going to say Manchester City, because that's where in my head I believed he was going to Chelsea, of course. He went with Sarri. I'm going to just dip into the chat and see if somebody has the name of this player for me, because it's going to annoy me. No, not Dries Mertens. Andres Milik. That's it. Thank you very much. Milik is the one I was thinking of. But they do, of course, have Dries Mertens as well. Mertens, again, though, is getting on in age. I can't remember. He's 34, 33 or 34, Dries Mertens, but still a danger. So there are men there that can do damage for that Napoli team. But then, of course, you look at the Liverpool team, and let's go through the 11, because that's what we're here to do. The Liverpool team, I think, can do just as much, if not more damage than any of those Napoli players. Right, what else have we got? He's not elite, said Junior, with regards to Insigne. Dybala won't leave with Ronaldo there. Juventus will maul Man United, said Gareth Phillips. It's mad though. Will Ronaldo be allowed play at Old Trafford with him being on loan and all to Manchester United? Because those deluded cunts still think that he gives a fuck about Manchester United. It's hilarious that those lads still call him Air Ronnie and think that he in any way gives a shite about Manchester United. He couldn't get out of there quick enough once Real Madrid came knocking. The deluded nature of the United fans around Ronaldo always gives me a chuckle, because they still think of him as one of their own. It's madness altogether. Liverpool, our boss, we're back. We just need to win a trophy this year, says Fitzy. You need to see Lionel Messi live, Johnny. 3 points from PSG, 1 point from this 6. Back-to-back games against Belgrade and will top the group, said Brian Morrissey. Napoli president last seen lighting candles and saying prayers whilst muttering over and over again, pot 3 my arse, pot 3 my arse, said Damo. He wasn't best pleased with Liverpool being in pot 3. We had a little chat about this on previous streams. He did cry like a little girl when Liverpool came out of pot 3, but you should have known beforehand this was the chance. I don't get it though. Small club mentality for me. When I was talking about the Champions League draw, I wanted Liverpool to get the toughest possible group. That might sound mad, but I want us to play the best. I would have loved to have seen Liverpool in a group with Barcelona. Who else have we got? Who came out in pot 2? Barcelona, Inter Milan maybe out of pot 4. And I don't know, pick me AN other big team out of pot 2. I can't remember who was in pot 2 at the time. But look, I'm not unhappy with the group we have. Red Star Belgrade and Liverpool, though, being the only 2 teams in the group that have actually won a European Cup, which is crazy. Because Paris Saint-Germain and Napoli are, 2 renowned European sides. Alan has been brilliant this year for Napoli. One to watch out for tomorrow night, said Dia Egan. Craig, you are Pepe Reina, said Stephen Richards. I'll take it, Stephen. I mean, I'm definitely going to take it. It certainly beats somebody calling me, who was it, Steve McMahon the other night. So I'm having Pepe Reina over Steve McMahon every single day of the week, mate. So thank you for that one. You'll probably notice, guys, as the days tick along and I get closer to my holiday, I'm probably going to get more and more and more fucking happy. Because I'm nearly counting minutes at this stage trying to get away. I'm so fucking looking forward to it. Man United and Real Madrid fans are equally disgusting plastic, said Johnny. Thoughts on Matic, Sturridge and Shaqiri starting tomorrow night, asked Fitzy. Right guys, I might as well give you my 11 for tomorrow night and then you guys can let me know what you think and let me know what your team will be. I think I gave it to you last night as well when we were speaking on last night's stream. So for me, I'm going to go for obviously Alisson Becker in goal, Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back, centre back pairing of Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez. Of course, Robbo at left back because you couldn't but put Andy Robbo at left back. Now the midfield is always the area where we have a bit of debate and people see things a little bit differently. For me, for this game tomorrow night and this game only, I think I'd go for James Milner, Naby Keita and Gini Wijnaldum. I just feel those 3 give us everything we need. The dynamism, the work rate, the intensity, everything I think we're going to need over here tomorrow. The little bit of creativity as well, because at times we do lack that guile in midfield. Now the front 3 is normally where I come on here and say, it's the front 3, I don't have to say the front 3, you know the front 3. This time I'd like to see Mo Salah get a rest, and that might shock a few people who might say, but he's going back to Italy, he knows how to play against Italian teams from his time at Fiorentina and his time at Roma, but I just think I'd like to see him rested and ready to go for the weekend. So for me tomorrow night, I'd go with Mane, Firmino and Danny Sturridge. That's my 11. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if there's any tweaks or changes, or if you think maybe we might see a bit of a formation change from the gaffer. Always interested to know how you guys feel. And I think if we put out a strong team, we're going to win. If we put out a team a little bit stronger than we put out in the League Cup, perhaps we could come away with a draw. For me, the team selection tomorrow will tell us a lot about what to expect from the game and about what the manager is thinking for the weekend. We'll hear all the right things in the media. You'd expect nothing less from any manager about treating everybody with respect, treating the Champions League competition with respect, and of course the game of the weekend. And they'll say that they don't think about the game of the weekend. They won't think about it at all till this game is over. You know, all managers would have a little look ahead in their mind. They'd have a little nod to the weekend. And after that then, the players are off on international duty. The manager can perhaps get a chance to reevaluate things. Have a look at who's left behind, who's not on international duty. Maybe somebody will catch his eye. It's happened before. It may happen again. Right, so let's see how you guys are feeling. Let's see who you guys would have in the team tomorrow. I'd start Sturridge, Salah and Shaqiri, says Fitzy. I'm with you, Craig, but Sturridge striker and Shaqiri wide right. Thoughts on Nagelsmann, said Junior. I think he is another overhyped young German manager. He came with Hoffenheim last year, of course, to Liverpool in the last knockout round of the Champions League, and he was giving it all this in his fucking gilet, coming over here, and I'd almost say disrespecting Anfield to an extent, saying that the atmosphere won't intimidate Hoffenheim one bit and they'll come here and they'll play their game. I just think he's another overhyped manager. Is he off to Leipzig at the end of the season, or am I getting him mixed up with somebody else? I know that the Leipzig are bringing in somebody. I think it might be Nagelsmann at the end of the season. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one, but for me, no, I don't like him. Maybe I just don't like him because I actually just don't like him, or maybe I'm letting that dislike if I'm blind his coaching ability in my head. I've been known to do that at times. I can be biased. I'm not even going to hide it. I didn't like him when he came to Anfield last year. I didn't like the way he spoke. I understand the manager trying to protect his own team, but he even looks like an arrogant cunt. So for me, nah, don't like him. Sturridge deserves a start, said Kieran. Mane was better on the right, said Junior. He is going to Leipzig next year. Brilliant, thank you. The game is made for Salah to score a couple of goals, said Paul. Manchester United fans are fucking delusional. They're trying to say Pogba slipped when Pichichi broke his ankles in the game tonight. The dude is completely overhyped. I don't get it. I don't see the Paul Pogba love in. He's capable. I've said this like I've talked about Hazard, but at least Hazard's shown up this season. He's capable of amazing things, but he's another one of these people that likes it to be all about him. He's a sulky little diva. And how many times have you heard out of the media this week that he has gone to players to try and turn them against the manager, or he is recruiting people to be a bit complaining about how Jose's treating them, or to try and undermine what the manager is doing? Now look, this could all be absolute media talk, but we know the media, and particularly, I'm not going to name the outlets, but you guys know the ones that blow smoke up United's arse. Even they're starting to question what's going on at Manchester United. I know Gary Neville has come out and said that he believes that the manager shouldn't go. Well, the last interview I'd seen with Gary Neville said that he believes that there's problems at United much higher up than Jose Mourinho, and that there's no long-term strategy or no long-term planning there. But for us as Liverpool fans, it's fucking great to see. Long may it continue. Do you think Naby Keita and Fabinho? I don't know about Fabinho starting tomorrow. Is that Imran? No, it's Kieran Bailey. I don't know about Naby Keita, or not Naby Keita, Fabinho starting tomorrow. I don't know if he's ready yet. I know he played okay. I said he got 7 out of 10 for me in the League Cup game when he came on, but it's quite a big game at Napoli. Maybe the Red Star game at home would be one to give him another run out. I'd like to go into this international break on the back of some good results. We lost against Chelsea during midweek, and of course we got the very late equaliser in the league at the weekend, so I don't want to go into the international break on the back of two bad results, or picking up a draw where we should have won, and I don't even want to think about the weekend yet. We'll talk about that one a little bit further along, but yeah, it is important. I hate going into international breaks feeling a bit deflated, particularly after the start of the season that we've had, because that just gives people 2 weeks to try and undermine everything at Liverpool, to try and say that we're unravelling, all that type of shit that we don't want to hear or see. So I don't know, I don't want people to turn on Fabinho as well. So if Fabinho was to play, the result didn't go our way, well then there's a scapegoat for some fans to point the finger at. Now look, I know 99% of Liverpool fans are reasonable, but that fucking 1% can be very, very vocal at times when they like to shout their mouths off. Fabinho, like you said, needs time to adapt, said Kieran. Evening, said Paul. Evening Red, said Vinny. What else have we got here in the chat? Fabinho does not look ready. It'll take a while for him to settle in, said Fitzy. Both are world class, said Junior. Again, I don't know. I just don't see it for me at the minute with Fabinho being ready to start. Maybe a league game at home against what we would consider one of the lesser sides. But I suppose I understand as well people calling for him to come in Champions League football. He has experience in Europe. He played in the French League, obviously, so he knows what that type of football is all about. Maybe I'm being a little bit picky here. I just don't want him to come in and give anybody an excuse to write him off yet. So maybe this is my fault. Maybe I'm just not believing in him enough. But I trust the gaffer, so if Klopp thinks he's ready to go in, then so be it. He'll go in, he'll do well, and everything will be grand going forwards. A couple of other things, guys, I wanted to have a chat about as well. I've gone through my starting 11 for tomorrow. What else have we got? Bear with me. I spoke about that one. So Lorenzo Insigne has come out and said that there's a Liverpool player that in particular worries him. I'm not sure if you guys have read this article or have read what Insigne has to say, but before I let you guys know who it is, let's play a little game here and you guys let me know, who do you think he's talking about? Who is the Liverpool player that Insigne believes will trouble them the most, or the player that worries him the most at Liverpool? I was really happy with the answer when I read it, because it made lots of sense to me, but I don't want to give it away. I know there's probably some of you that have read it, but if there hasn't, let me know in the chat who you think Insigne is worried about. What else have we got? Whichever player Mo or Sturridge starts will score, said Paul. Next year, before we see the best of Fabinho, said Brian. James Fullen said, yep, I wouldn't say Fabinho is ready. I just hate international breaks no matter what, said Ben. Mate, I fucking hate them, honest to God. But I'm not going to lie, this one came at the perfect time for me, because I'm going to be on holidays, so it allows me to go away and not miss many Liverpool games. The only game I'm actually going to not be able to cover for you guys is the Huddersfield game. So for me, that's absolutely brilliant. I'll be back in time for the Red Star Belgrade game. I'll be home that morning. I'll make sure I keep my eyes open with matchsticks, and I'll be on here ready to go for the Red Star Belgrade game. So just one game you're going to miss me on, so that's not too bad. We won't have the nightly streams, but there'll just be one watch along I won't be here for. I'll see if somebody can cover. I'll see if somebody can do the watch alongs, but other than that, I'm afraid you guys aren't going to see much of me for 2 weeks from Monday. I'm not even sure if I'll be on Monday night, because I'm heading off Tuesday morning, so fingers crossed I'll try and get on for a little while on Monday night, but other than that, it'll be just the rest of the week, and then I'll be off on my holidays officially, which I cannot wait for. I'm not going to lie, I cannot wait to get away with the family. I'm absolutely mentally exhausted. Starting Anfield Agenda and moving towards YouTube has been a big load of work. I know this is a hobby for us, and we said before, it's not a job or anything like that, but believe it or not, going through the hours that we put in, because it's a 7-day-a-week thing, I probably put in somewhere between 40 and 50 hours a week into Anfield Agenda. That's how much work goes into this. All day I'm sitting there reading articles, I'm writing out stuff to put in the agenda for the shows, I'm scheduling things for the future, and if I'm not doing that, I'm responding to emails, I'm talking to people on Twitter, I'm going back and forth with companies, potential sponsors, all that type of stuff. It just takes up a lot of time, and whilst I love it, and it's a pleasure to do it, and I love coming on here and chatting to everybody, it is a little bit mentally exhausting. So a couple of weeks away will do me the world of good. Hopefully I'll come back, be even better, ready to go. I'll be buying a new camera when I'm over there. Not the one that we're talking about crowdfunding, that's going to be for a different reason altogether. I'll be just buying a bit of a better camera for the streams, because as you can see with the one I'm on now, the quality is just not good enough. I can't get the lighting right. It's either too light, too dark. I have a ring light, I've got everything else set up and ready to go for it. Just need a bit of a better camera, and I'll get that when I'm on holiday. So again, I feel really bad about this. Really bad about heading off and leaving you guys in the lurch for 2 weeks, but there's not really that much I can do about it. I'll do a few little Sly streams while I'm away when the missus lets me. It probably cost me a fortune. I'll probably have to buy her a fucking handbag or something, but you guys are worth it. So you know I'll be on when I can. Salah should get some game time, or she needs some form, excuse me, said Kieran. What else we got? Louise said Mo to rest Danny and Mane, Firmino and Danny Sturridge to score first. Raptor's in the house. Raptor, how are you? Great to have you with us, buddy. I feel like I need to get Raptor on as well. I feel like I need to get him on real soon. That's another thing, actually. There's another piece of equipment, guys, I'm going to pick up. I'm going to buy an extra monitor, and that might sound like something that's pretty unimportant, but believe you me, the way these streams are set up, an extra monitor will allow me to do a lot more work. It'll allow me to bring on more guests again, because you probably noticed I haven't had guests on in a while. And that's not because there's nobody there, nobody lined up. It's a purely technological thing. The setup that I have this moment in time, you guys will notice these days I don't have that weird humming in the back that I used to have from my laptop. That's gone because I've moved the laptop about 15 feet away from me. But in order to do that, I need to work remotely. So it's often why I have a touchpad in my hand or something like that. So putting another monitor in front of me will allow me to bring somebody in, connect my headphones into that, and get them on for the live chats and stuff. So again, another thing I'll be doing when I come back from holidays. I feel awful that I haven't had anybody on, by the way. I know it's just been me for a while. Apologies on that, because I've people lined up. Cash is there, Dave is there, Joseph's there, Raptor's there, Connor's there, all people that want to come on. Chris is there. and do stuff with you guys, chat to you guys. It's purely just down to one simple little piece of kit at this moment in time where that hasn't happened. Louise said, how are we all doing this evening? Craig, have you been to Anfield lately? When are you going next? Says Fitzy. Not this season so far, buddy. I haven't been. I'm hoping to get over 3 or 4 times after Christmas. Tickets, depending on tickets. With the holiday and stuff and the stuff with my family, I haven't been able to organise trips over before Christmas. Last year I was over there, I think 4 times last season, which is still not enough for me. I'd like to get over a lot more than that. So after Christmas, tickets allowing, mate. If I got tickets every week, I'd be there every week after Christmas. That's how much free time I'm going to have. What else is there? Can I recommend Canon cameras? Said Stephen Richards. Or Craig, I can recommend Canon cameras. One or two things here, buddy. The camera that I'm going to be getting will be a streaming camera for these streams now. But the one we're talking about crowdfunding in the future, that's the one where we're going to be, you know, looking for serious money, because Connor and I have plans to make little documentaries and a few other bits and pieces. But I'll be going around and I'll be doing my research before I buy the camera, and I'll be testing it out. I'll be making sure it's full 1080 HP, and I'll be making sure that it works in different lighting situations and stuff. I've actually bought 2 cameras and fucked them both in the bin because I ordered them online. They came, they haven't worked well enough. They've been useless, not what I needed them for. And me being me and me being angry me, I just fucked them at a wall because that's just me, if I'm being honest. I often go to Clifton in mid-November. Can I come on? Said Paul. Clifton? Clifton's nowhere near me, buddy. Clifton's in Galway. You're far, far, far away from me. Get a GoPro, said Megan Onke. I have a GoPro in the house, mate. It just won't work for what I wanted to do in this situation. What exactly is the blue spanner? Asked Tomas Kennedy. The blue spanner, Tomas, means that people on the channel are moderators, which means that they're able to control the chat. If somebody comes in and starts spamming us, or somebody comes in and starts being abusive, the guys with the blue spanners are able to time them out, remove them from the channel, or just cut out their topics altogether, whatever they posted in. So that's all really, mate. Nothing too important. They just help us out on here, because at times there's things we can't see, or the chat moves very quickly and we're doing streams and stuff. It just allows us to have a bit of help. So basically they do some work for us, really. We should be thanking them, which we always do. I rely on merely my velvety voice, said the Raptor. Guys, come on, give me your team selections tomorrow. Let me know who you expecting the Reds to start with. And score predictions as well, of course, because that's another thing we need to get through. 3-1 sounds good to me. Somebody said 3-1 earlier on. I like the sound of it. I wouldn't say no to a 3-1, but it could be a 2-all as well. I feel it might be a 4-goal game, though. Definitely feel 4 goals sounds about right. This is a hard card. It's not too far out of the way. Paul, buddy, if you're in Ireland, you're welcome to come over anytime. Absolutely anytime, mate. Be prepared to drive, though, because Galway, Clifton to my house is, I'd say, 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours, something like that. It's quite a drive, but look, buddy, if you come over, of course, I'm not going to close my door. You're welcome. I'm Irish, mate. We're very welcoming people. You make the trip over, you're more than welcome to come, buddy. We'll film something together. Raptor said like. You like Conor McGregor, you're watching him this weekend, says Fitzy. Damn right, I'm watching him this weekend. I don't even claim to be a big UFC fan. I'm an absolute bandwagon jumper. When McGregor fights, I watch because I'm Irish. I'm not even going to claim to know much about the sport. A little bit, perhaps, but not as much as I'd be confident in talking about boxing. Boxing, I was raised with. UFC is something completely new to me. I don't understand jiu-jitsu that well. A little bit of Thai boxing I've watched over the years growing up, but most of it I don't understand the intricacies of UFC, particularly the grappling game on the ground. That stuff it just looks like people lying on the ground wrestling to me are just trying to fight out, and I know that's just so oversimplistic. I know that there's absolutely dozens or hundreds of techniques that these guys have to go through and learn to try and stop. Like Kimura. I keep hearing the word Kimura, but I haven't got a fucking Scooby-Doo what it means. I just know it's something that's used in UFC a lot. So yes, definitely going to be watching the McGregor fight. I don't even drink whiskey. I've said this before to you guys. I don't drink alcohol really. But I'm going to Dublin Airport. I'm absolutely picking up a bottle of proper 12 whiskey. Just because it's McGregor's. Call me a fucking fanboy or whatever, but I just love the dude. I love his brashness. I love the way he is different to so many other Irish people. Irish people at times can be a little bit too apologetic and almost ashamed of being a success. McGregor doesn't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck in life. So seeing somebody like McGregor being like a hyper version of me, but obviously fucking successful and with talent, it just draws me to him. I just love watching him. I love him saying whatever the fuck he wants. I love him fucking that dolly at the bus. People might think that that was bullshit. People might call him a scumbag. But I've got to be honest, it's the type of shit that I do. So I kind of get where he's coming from. Yeah, I definitely feel McGregor. Definitely. Don't know much about Khabib. I know he's unbeaten. I know he hasn't even lost a round in the UFC so far. But a lot of people that I have spoke to believe that if McGregor, and look, he's not going to be able to keep it on his feet for the entire fight. He's going to be, or Khabib's going to shoot for his legs constantly. But I think with the hand speed McGregor has, with that left hand of his, if he connects to Khabib, it could be all over. But these are all if, ands, or buts. We'll find out on Saturday. I'd love to see a trilogy fight with Nate Diaz, by the way. I enjoyed both of the fights, McGregor and Diaz. Diaz is one tough son of a bitch. Honest to God. You look at Diaz, you hear the way he lives his life and, you know, likes a bit of weed and stuff. And I love his attitude as well. Love Nate Diaz's attitude. But lots of respect to him. Those two fights with McGregor were absolute wars. And I've seen very few people in this world with a chin and recovery as much as Nate Diaz. Fucking hell. My God, that fella can take a beating and just come back. So yeah, that has to happen as far as I'm concerned. A trilogy fight with Nate Diaz. Not sure about the weight. Didn't they fight at 170, I think, if memory serves correct. And I heard McGregor speaking during the week that there's a massive gap in the UFC between the weight divisions. So going from 155 up to 170, there's all this talk of maybe something at 165 coming in. Wasn't Nate Diaz supposed to fight at 165 or something like that? I like what McGregor says. It makes sense. Me being a boxing fan, you see weight divisions that go up every 5 to 7 pound. In the UFC, having 15 pound between two weight divisions seems ludicrous. So I agree with what McGregor was saying during the week, that it would be good to see the UFC introduce more weight divisions and cut what people have to do to make weight. Get people to be able to kind of do things a little bit more healthily, because cutting weight, if you're somewhere in between 170 and 155, cutting down would be an absolute nightmare. So having these extra divisions would certainly help, I think, the UFC, in my fucking very humble opinion. Again, I know this isn't Liverpool related, but somebody asked about McGregor, and I don't need two opportunities to big up an Irish man, put it that way. Crosby Red, I don't even know, said somebody else. Diaz is a warrior, said Fitzy. Craig, I'm buzzing for the Fury fight, said Stephen Richards. Oh man, that press conference was brilliant yesterday. I thought Tyson Fury was fucking hilarious. Deontay Wilder held his own, to be fair, but that's another really interesting fight. Intriguing is certainly the word about that one. And to anyone that's saying, fuck you, this is a Liverpool stream, apologies. I'm only going by what's in the chat. But you guys know I don't need an invitation to talk about boxing. So, December 1st, Staples Center, LA, Tyson Fury fighting Deontay Wilder for the WBC heavyweight title of the world, or championship of the world. The WBC champion against the lineal champion. It's going to be one hell of a fight, but in my humble opinion, Anthony Joshua KOs both of them. I don't care what people say. People can say that Fury will be too big, he'll lean on AJ. People can say that Wilder, his reach is too long, he comes in from awkward angles, he's too explosive. I get all that. I just think AJ, as every fight goes on and he progresses and he still learns inside the ring, he's proved he has recovery. He's been put down by Klitschko, he's been wobbled before, but he comes through it. For me, the big fight will be Fury against AJ. I think Fury may beat Wilder, but Wilder will of course have a rematch clause if that happens, because he put that in the contract, because it was a voluntary. He's no fool, he's going to have the rematch clause. But if Wilder loses both of those, or perhaps doesn't take up a rematch if Fury wins, I would fucking love to see AJ fight Tyson Fury. Pretty sure I'd travel for that one as well. That would be one hell of a fight. Have to be somewhere like Wembley. It would have to be somewhere absolutely massive. Smash the like button, guys, to somebody else. Big Virgil is our warrior, said Damo. How would you not love that man? Honest to God. Even my wife now, who doesn't give a fuck about football, just thinks he's the slickest dude ever. He just exudes confidence, Virgil van Dijk, doesn't he? But we can't forget Joe Gomez and all of this, guys. Joe Gomez has been sensational so far this season. And great to see him getting so many accolades and so many kind words from the media as well, because he deserves it. Gomez has been brilliant for Liverpool this season. Diaz is the man, especially if he gets you in the chokehold. There's nobody better, said Paul. I love your passion about McGregor, said Fitzy. There's only one Tyson Fury. Did you think Triple G was robbed? Yes or no? Yes, to a degree. I don't think he was robbed anywhere near as much as the first fight, because the first fight was absolutely night and day, open and shut. He won that fight. The second fight was definitely closer. I had him 2 rounds ahead, but it wasn't the biggest robbery. If there was going to be one draw, I'd say the second fight probably should have been the honest draw. But we all know, look, it was a Golden Boy promotion. I'm not even going to hide this. They were protecting their fighter. Canelo has been protected throughout his entire career as far as I'm concerned. He should have had a much longer ban for the drug offences that he did. It was a combutanol or something like that, or combuterol. I think he said he got it from tainted meat. Yeah, look, Golden Boy are known for protecting their fighters. He's had one major fight in his career that was against Mayweather, and they couldn't rob Mayweather because they wouldn't fucking allow it to happen. So Mayweather won hands down, by the way. He won pretty much every round. He actually made it look really, really easy against Canelo. But the 2 fights against Triple G, how he could come out both of those fights with a draw and a loss, it's fucking shocking. And it's why people are turning away from boxing at times and heading towards the UFC or other types of mixed martial arts, maybe BAM and stuff like that. It's nuts. Some of the scores, I think Adelaide Bird's card in particular for the first Triple G fight was 108, 110 to Canelo. That was a fucking joke. She should have never been allowed near a boxing arena again after that. An absolute disgrace of a scorecard. And there's been a few more decisions in boxing lately that have been a bit iffy. So, yeah, you just hope in boxing it goes by a KO or a TKO, because there's no dodgy decisions then. They can't put it to the judges. The judges can't fuck people over and protect fighters. I was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast recently with Teddy Atlas was on the podcast, and Teddy Atlas has been in and around the boxing game his entire life. Been in and around Gus D'Amato when he was Mike Tyson's coach. I think he was part of Gus D'Amato's team actually. He was talking about the fact that before these big major fights, Golden Boy or whoever it might be, I keep mentioning Golden Boy, I shouldn't really just keep pinning it on Golden Boy. But these people go out and bring people out for meals, the judges, all the score people, the judges, the WBC or all the different boxing federations. The promoters bring them out for a meal on the evening of the fight. Sit them down, bring them to a really posh restaurant, plough them full of wine or whatever, champagne, all the top stuff the day before the fight. How the fuck can that be allowed to happen? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine Liverpool were playing against Barcelona and Liverpool were bringing out all the referees, the linesman and the referee's assistants and all for a jolly up the night before the game, for a slap up meal and a few bottles of wine and all this stuff? It wouldn't happen. So how the fuck can it happen in boxing? And if anybody gets a chance, I highly recommend having a listen to this. Joe Rogan Experience. Teddy Atlas is the name of the guy that was on that particular podcast. Brilliant podcast. If you're into boxing, I highly recommend you having a listen to that one. Joe Gomez proved me wrong. He looks solid next to VVD. Something's come up. Good night, everybody, said Paul. Good night, mate. Hope it's nothing serious. Hope all is well. I did. The twat wouldn't leave me alone. Had to bin him one. No idea what that is. Danny Garcia had a dodgy decision against Shane Porter as well. Craig Virgil is the best centre half since Alan Hansen. That's a big shout, but I hope he can be. I hope he can go on to be that good. I caught the very, 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 very end as a child of Alan Hansen's career. I'm not even going to pretend to remember it, but when you speak to people that seen Jockey play, they say there's been no better centre back in red. So for Virgil van Dijk to get there, he needs to be here for a few years. He needs to win things, but he's fucking good enough. He's such a good player. What else have we got? We went through Danny Garcia. Even Amir Khan did well against Canelo before he got knocked out clean. At least you couldn't argue about that decision though. He was sparked out. Canelo caught him flush in the jaw night. What's wrong with Johnny Gooch? Why is people moaning about him? Hey Craig, do you have a donation page so I can prove these trigger happy mods that I'm not a troll? I don't need your money, Johnny, for that one, mate. I know Johnny isn't a troll. Johnny's been on here loads of times. I don't know what he's been saying tonight, if he's been having an argument with somebody or not, but I can certainly vouch that Johnny isn't a troll. That much I can definitely say for certain. I've seen Johnny in the chat for a long time now, popping in and out, but you don't need to send donations, mate. We definitely have a donation page, but I don't want you sending money just to prove a point to somebody. That's not what we're about on here, mate. Did anybody watch the Manx match? Wow, they're bad, said Crosby Red. They were fucking shocking. Absolutely shocking. Even the commentators on BT were saying that the game was being played at walking pace. The camera pans around Old Trafford and you can just see people just sitting there with blank looks on their faces. And to be fair to the crowd, at times they tried. They tried to stand up and scream attack and all this stuff, but the team didn't look interested. Mourinho looked clueless. That game for me screamed of a game that Juan Mata would have had an influence on. I cannot believe that Juan Mata wasn't, one, in the starting 11 or two, brought on after 30 fucking minutes when it was obvious what was happening. Yeah, the game just seemed suited for Juan Mata to me. Other than that, I thought Rashford looked okay for United. The rest of them, though, Pogba useless, Lukaku useless, Sanchez useless, Matic too slow, Fellaini useless, Shaw okay, sloppy in possession at times. De Gea didn't really have much to do, in fairness, because as much attacking as Valencia did, and they got into really, really good positions. It'd been like watching Liverpool at times this season. The final ball just wasn't there. They were very good in starting play, very good in building up attacks, but for some reason they just couldn't pull the trigger when they got down to the end, and De Gea didn't have much to do. Bay as a centre back is a joke, an absolute fucking joke. I've said that for a long time. So there's just nobody in that Manchester United team that really has a spark or can do anything. They brought on Anthony Martial for the last 15 or 20 minutes or so, and other than a couple of little breaks down the left, I don't remember him doing too much either. But this is all fucking great, don't get me wrong. I'm happy to be on here saying all this. I'm happy to be telling you how shite Manchester United were. Even in BT at half time, I remember them asking and the panel, if United lose this, could this be the game that gets Mourinho sacked? Now everybody said no. Ferdinand, Scholes and whoever else, can't remember who the third person was in the studio, they all said no, that he shouldn't be sacked yet. But the season's turning into a shambles, and long may it continue, because of course we want them to fall out of the top four consistently. Bringing in Zidane ain't going to solve it. So if people, United fans out there or Liverpool fans, are worried that if they went in and brought in Zidane that it would cause wholesale changes, it won't. You'll get a bit of a boost, of course. The team will probably play a little bit better with who's there, but they're still going to have the shambles above them. Ed Woodward is still going to be there. The club is still going to be just interested in turnover and bringing in more money, getting more sponsorship. There's no leadership at Manchester United, it looks like, from the outside. And again, I'm saying this because it's what I'm hearing from other people, and people who are a lot more clued up on Manchester United than I am. But the plus point to all this is that we get to see El Garky Puss have a meltdown. And what isn't as joyful as seeing Gark jumping up and down on the spot talking about Phil Jones' purple boots or Phil Jones' pink boots being tins of salmon. I mean, it's fucking beautiful. It's one of the joys of Manchester United not doing well, as we get to see this sulky little prick moaning as well. So yes, Crosby Red did see United today. They were fucking shocking, which is beautiful. Long may it continue. Is Manchester United side worse than us under Roy Hodgson, said Fitzy. No, I mean, to be fair, no, I don't think so. I mean, that was fucking... At least we had, under Roy Hodgson, at least we had a shit squad at times. I mean, at least there was some really, really, really shit players there. United are talking about £90 million Paul Pogba. I can't remember how much Lukaku cost them, but it was shit ton of money. You're talking about one of the best goalkeepers in the world being there. You're talking about a player in Alexis Sanchez who was doing really well at Arsenal, who had played for Barcelona, who Manchester City were doing their best to try and sign, who was just falling apart. Fred, who they brought in. Look, to be fair, you've got to give him more time. He's only a new signing. Re-signing Fellaini was just a signal of how fucking far they've fallen in my eyes. Having a player like Juan Mata sitting on the bench in a game tonight or not playing, in a game tonight where it was clearly set up for him. He would have known how to play against that Valencia side. He played for the fucking club, for God's sake. Just seems madness to me. Marcus Rashford looks like he's been mismanaged there. That young man deserves better because he's very, very good talent. Anthony Martial, another amazing talent. Looks like he's fading away at the club. Pogba's crying to get out of the club. He's basically begging Barcelona to come and get him. I honestly be really, really worried. And that's fucking brilliant because we've been there. We've been there, as you've just suggested there, under Roy Hodgson. My fucking God, they were dark days. Days I don't ever want to go back to. But things are going well for Liverpool. Things are on the up and up. So let's all just sit back, enjoy what we're doing, and keep a little eye off to the side and enjoy the Mank meltdown. 75 million for Lukaku, says Connor. Thank you, Connor. If we didn't laugh, they'd cry. What else we got? What have we got? Johnny Gooch changed the subject. Is he still moaning about something? I don't know. We got to move on. I'm not going to go through and get in people's squabbles because we've done enough of that on this channel, and it's here to be positive. It's here to bring Liverpool fans together. This is what we want to do. Don't want people falling apart in the chat. We don't want people arguing with each other. These people shall be removed long term from the channel because we've spoken about trying to create the right environment on here. We want people to get along. But yes, we want people to be able to give their honest views, and those views should be respected. Sometimes people come in and take the piss. There's only so much you can get away with saying. And again, I'm not pointing any fingers here because I haven't been able to keep up with the chat fully tonight. I've just seen a few little comments here or there. So all I'd say is, guys, just try and be respectful. We're all Liverpool fans on here. We all want the same thing. If sometimes I haven't read somebody's comment out, it wasn't done on purpose. It's because I may have just missed it. So I've no favourites on the channel or anything like that, because I've been accused of that before as well, which is farcical. It really fucking is. We lost to Blackpool twice under Hodgson and Wolves. Raptor says, thing is though, do they want out of the club or away from the manager? Which is a good point, to be fair, Raptor. Usually in these situations, you always would back the manager of the club. You would say that it's the manager's way or the highway, and that the manager should be backed by the club. But there's something about Mourinho in 3 years that just seems that he goes into meltdown and he starts falling out with players. So it's a good point, Raptor. I don't know if it is the manager or the club, mate, but if the manager stays there, then it will be them leaving the club. I don't know how the fans will feel about that. But look, who cares? At the end of the day, let's just hope it keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and that we can just sit back and enjoy it as it unfolds. Because I'm sure they did for us. I'm sure those mank fuckers enjoyed every single minute of the Roy Hodgson era at Liverpool. I'm sure they enjoyed every single minute of those shitty performances, like the 2 losses here at Blackpool people spoke about. I'm sure that was fucking heaven for them. So the tides have turned. Let's enjoy it. Let's kick back and relax and enjoy what's happening at our club as well, because it's more important that we focus on Liverpool here, guys. We're Liverpool fans. Massive game against Napoli tomorrow. I'm sticking with the 3-1. It wasn't my 3-1. Someone suggested that score earlier, and the more I think about it, the more I think, yeah, that could be exactly the score. But I think I've gone 3-1 a couple of times already this season. The starting 11 I went with earlier on, in case anybody missed it, the 11 I would have gone with the 11 I would go with for tomorrow's game would be Alisson in goal, unchanged back 4, Robbo, Trent, Van Dijk, Gomez. I'd like to see a midfield trio of James Milner, Naby Keita and Gini Wijnaldum, and I would rest Mo Salah for tomorrow's game. So I would go with Danny Sturridge up front, with Bobby Firmino and Sadio Mane. That's just my 11. A couple of other people have said they'd like to see Shaqiri get a run out, and I'd have absolutely no issues with that whatsoever. Let me know though, we still haven't had many teams in tonight, so let me know what teams you guys would like to see tomorrow. And let me know who worries you. I did say earlier on that Insigne spoke about one player at Liverpool that worried him. I don't remember reading through many comments about who you guys think that is, so I may as well go back to my little phone here and let you guys know. So the player in question was, of course, Roberto Firmino. Insigne went on to say Roberto Firmino was the most decisive player because he comes to play between the lines and opens up the spaces to his teammates. So I read that and I was actually really pleased that other people are starting to see how important Roberto Firmino is for Liverpool. Because our fan base have known for a long time exactly what Bobby brings. But over the past couple of seasons, I feel that Bobby Firmino has been one of the most underrated footballers in the Premier League by opposition fans, not by Liverpool fans. I think Liverpool fans have always known quite how good Bobby is and how important he is to the team. So when you see somebody there like Insigne say that he believes he is the most troublesome or worrying player at Liverpool, it kind of makes you sit back and smile if you're a Bobby Firmino fan. Because opposition fans used to say he doesn't score enough goals, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that, yada yada. But we know that what Bobby does allows other players to flourish. He scores more than enough goals for me. He's not your typical number 9. He's almost reinvented the role of a number 9. Or at least in a Klopp system. He's a completely different number 9 to a Harry Kane or a Lukaku or somebody along those lines. What he does for Liverpool Football Club is he starts the press at times. He makes intelligent runs that allow other players to get into holes in the defence. He drags players out of position, which allows other players to come in with third man runs into open spaces. He does so much for this football team, as well as coming on against PSG with one eye and going and sticking one into the fucking corner so the Reds win 3-2. And it's great that both opposition fans and now opposition players are starting to see just how good this young man is. I've spoken many times about my admiration for Bobby Firmino and how he's my favourite Liverpool player. And those beautiful white teeth don't hurt whatsoever. But for me, I still think he's undervalued by some in the Premier League. Even opposition fans who have cottoned on to him a little bit and started to realise how good he is, I still don't think they realise how good he really is. And this whole thing about, do Liverpool need a different number 9? And some of our fans have often mentioned this as well. I've heard this in chats numerous times that we could do with somebody who bangs in 30 goals a season, yada yada yada, a fox in the box. We could do with a hold-up man, all that type of stuff. But the way we play, the way Bobby Firmino drags players around, he can come deep and allow space in behind for Mo Salah. He is a highly intelligent footballer. If memory serves me correctly, I read a really good article. I'm sure it was by Melissa Reddy. If it wasn't, I apologise, but I'm sure it was by Melissa Reddy. And she spoke about how long Liverpool had been scouting Roberto Firmino when he was at Hoffenheim, and how they'd watched him play in so many different conditions, in warm weather, cold weather, raining, snow, and they were just always impressed with what they'd seen. So at the time we signed Firmino, it seemed like a bit of a rush job. Some of us thought that Air went over really quickly, perhaps paid over the odds, because we were accused of paying over the odds for Bobby Firmino at the time. If you remember, they went over and Air got the deal done really quickly. I still don't know to this day why that was. Perhaps there was other interest coming in Firmino, and Liverpool had scouted him so long that they believed that now was the time to go and get him before they lose him. And all we can say as fans is that we're so fucking thankful they did. Have they paid over the odds for him? Not now, clearly. Now what we paid for Roberto Firmino looks like an absolute snip. At the time, maybe we did overpay a little bit of that current market value, but who cares? Do you care now? If we went back and looked at the money, of course you don't. Because Liverpool have this wonderful footballer that has graced our club, that most of our fan base have fallen in love with, me included. And somebody who, you know, has given us so many moments of joy, who's given us karate kicks, who's given us one-eye celebrations, who scored some absolutely amazing goals, who every time he smiles, your fucking whole spirit lifts. So how could you not love Bobby Firmino? So again, it was great to see Insigne say that he's the player he's worried about, and he's the player that he thinks can cause the most damage for Liverpool, because I agree. I love Bobby Firmino, massive Bobby Firmino fan. And I think he will go on this season, by the way, and score in excess of 20 goals. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you're a big Firmino fan. Let me know if you think he's undervalued by opposition fans or even by our own fan base at times. Again, guys, apologies. Sometimes I don't dip into the chat for a while. I do go on this, but I feel it's important that I don't spend half my time just looking down at chat. I'm here to address you guys, to talk to you guys. So I try and give as much eye contact as I can to look straight ahead into the camera, but at times I do, of course, have to look away, dip into the chat and see how everybody's feeling. So have we got lots of Bobby Firmino love in there as well? Happy birthday to Bobby as well, by the way, said Nabil Fakir. Spot on. it's the beautiful Brazilian boy's birthday, so certainly happy birthday to Bobby Firmino. Although he only has 28 minutes left of his birthday at this moment in time. Jose the Special Wanker, said Zach Jones. I like that name. Can we put that on a t-shirt? Do you know what else happened today, guys? And I'm not giving away the business type, but I was sitting down today with my wife, and then all of a sudden it hit me like a slap in the face. I thought of a really, really good business idea that in the new year I'm thinking of starting up. But I've told you guys before, I'm a bit of a little serial entrepreneur, and that I do things really quickly on a whim and flip the businesses at times. And when I say businesses, like, I'm not fucking talking about big corporations around. I'm just talking about small little things. But I thought of something today that I think will do really, really well. So I'm really excited about it. So that might be part of the reason I'm a little bit more buzzed tonight, or a little bit more happy than I normally am. I think I've got something else to get my teeth stuck into now in the new year. So really looking forward to this, and scouting premises and a few other bits and pieces. Hopefully we can make it happen, because I think it has the potential to be really good. And if it does, I'll need your hand. I'll need your help with a name. So I'll come back to you and we'll name this one together as well. Bobby is already a red legend, said Megan Nonky. The article is up on the website, my profile, if you want to read it all, said the Raptor. Which article is this? Is this the one from Rod? Am I missing something here, Rap? If it is the one from Rod, then yes, it's absolutely a brilliant article, and I urge everybody to read it. Rap says it's up on his profile. It's also on the Anfield Agenda website as well. So if you get a chance, go over there and have a read of it. And guys, I don't think I've given a shout out yet, but if you're watching the stream for the first time, or if you've been watching and haven't yet hit the subscribe button, then please do. We are ploughing along with the subscribers at the minute. We're doing really, really well, and it's great to see. But we always want to welcome more Reds to the channel. So if you haven't yet hit that subscribe button, guys, please do. And of course, for those of you that are watching, if you have a second, please hit that like button as well. I wonder if Jose relives the past glories by running down the corridors of the Lowry Hotel wearing a hoodie, said Damo. Damo, man, I fucking love your sense of humour. You and me, man, we're right here, like, with the fucking jokes. Although you're funny. I'm not claiming to be funny, but I like your sense of humour. I love that honesty from Insigne, said Kieran Bailey. Yeah, it's nice to see. It is nice to see. Whether it's mind games or not, some people might say, I don't know, but it is nice to hear. 3-0 if Virgil starts, 3-1 if he doesn't, says Keith. Good prediction, that, Keith. I think Virgil will start, though, Keith, to be fair. The manager said he's felt no ill effects after the Chelsea game. And we've got the full complement of 23 that travelled over as well. So fingers crossed we do see Virgil tomorrow, because let's be honest, we're a stronger team with Virgil van Dijk in it. Rabiot has rejected a contract at PSG. He's been linked with Liverpool. Do you reckon he'll join Liverpool next summer on a free? Still think he'll go to Barcelona. Spoken about this a few times before. They've been very strongly linked with him previously. Now with Barcelona perhaps looking to put together a package to bring in Pogba, maybe this has changed. Would I like Rabiot? Fucking hell yeah. Definitely take Rabiot on a free. I don't know how long James Milner has left. So if Rabiot were to come in, perhaps play a season or so with James Milner, they can alternate the games between them, and then moving forward, Rabiot starts to ease out James Milner, perhaps. Brilliant. But either way, yes, definitely I would take Rabiot at Liverpool, whether it be on a free or not. I think he's an excellent footballer. Needs to get a haircut though. Not happy with that long hair. Don't do long hair at Liverpool. We have Van Dijk. At least he has the decency to put his back in a man bun. So if Rabiot comes, I fully expect Henderson or Lallana or somebody to bring him to the barbers and get that fucking hair of his chopped off. I'll do it for him if he wants. I'm not saying it'll be a perfect job, but I'll have a bash at it. I mean, look at this bald head. Huh? Rabiot with a bald head, what do you think? Me, him and Dejan. Could be a trio. Fitzy, he is the best centre-back in the world. Real Madrid are looking at Ramsey. I love these fucking mad things that come out every so often. You always hear it when a player is running down his contract in England, or they're on a free, that some mad Italian club or some fucking huge club over in Spain are looking at them. And how many times have they actually made this move? Never. Because it's mostly bullshit by their agents, or bullshit stories planted in the press to try and get contract offers up for the players. I would laugh my ass off if Real Madrid actually signed Ramsey. There's no way he's gone to Real Madrid. None. And again, that's not because I don't think he's good enough. I've spoken that I think Aaron Ramsey's an excellent footballer, but that's just a story that's planted by somebody to stir shit. Thoughts on Lovren getting back into the red side? I've said about 5,000 times today. Apologies. I think he's going to struggle because Joe Gomez has been absolutely quality. And I'm a big believer in, if you have the shirt and you're playing well, it's your fucking shirt. If Gomez came in and took that shirt because Lovren was injured, then tough shit Lovren. Joe Gomez has been playing sensationally. Compliments Virgil van Dijk really, really well. So while that continues, you'd have to say it's his shirt. Now, if he needs a rest, fair enough. Let Dejan in. Joel Matip hasn't done himself any harm. The couple of games he's played, I thought he's done very well. He's reminded us how good he is at passing. Well, reminded me, because others, in fairness, did mention his range of passing before the games and let me know that that's why he could have been included. Because we have some really fucking clever people in our chat, some really clever people in our mod. So, again, the range of fullbacks or centre backs that we have at the club now, once they're all fit, they're pretty decent calibre. So things aren't too bad. Look at United, and they had McTominay playing centre back the other day. For fuck's sake, it's night and day and brilliant. Anyone know when Milner's contract's up? We should offer him a new 1-year deal. I think Fitzy, again, could be wrong. I think he has this year and one more year. Or else this year and the club have an option for one more year, perhaps. I'm sure somebody in the chat will know, but in my weird ass mind, that's what's in there. Are you looking at a premises for Mundo Sports HQ? No, that's a seasonal business, to be fair. El Mundo Sporto. That's only a business that really exists in the summer and between the January the 1st and the 31st. So, no, very seasonal business, that one. So definitely won't be a headquarters for Mundo Sporto. Although I do miss a good bit of Mundo Sporto. I can't wait for the transfer window to open back up because it's good fun. It's really busy though. You wouldn't believe it, but the transfer window can actually be a busier time for podcasts, YouTubers, article writers than some of the games. It's crazy because people love transfers. When it comes to getting subscribers, getting followers, getting people to listen to your content, there's nothing that beats transfer chat. Transfer chat is king when it comes to getting subscribers and followers and listeners and viewers. It's madness, but it's true. You'll get much more people putting out a transfer story than you will having a really good conversation around what happened at a game. Sounds ludicrous, but it's been proven time and time again. Transfers are what sells. And it's why there's so many ITKs on Twitter and so many of these fuckers have hundreds of thousands of followers. Even the people that clearly just make up bullshit stories, because there's always somebody that wants to believe, or somebody that believes that, okay, they might put out 6 shit stories, but they might get one right, and I might be one of the first to get that one off them, and then I can retweet it, and then I can get some followers, and so on and so forth. Gary Mack was great. I just wish we'd have signed him a little bit sooner. What a player he was. Gary McAllister was sensational in his short time at Liverpool. And Stephen Gerrard has made no secret of the fact that Gary McAllister had a massive influence on him as a player and his growth as a footballer. What an idol, what a player to learn off, Gary McAllister. And just for robbing those 20 yards and scoring that free kick against Everton that qualified us for the Champions League. I mean, if he doesn't go down as a legend just for that, despite the fact that he was part of a treble-winning team, that free kick alone should make Gary McAllister a legend. And the fact that he's a wonderful fella as well. Italian football on Channel 4, those were the days, said Megan Onke. They really were. They really fucked. James Richardson sitting there in it with his fucking Italian newspaper with his little espresso. Yeah, those were the days. That was when Italian football was at its hottest. Italian football was where all the top players were at back in the 90s. The money was in Italian football. Even some English players went over there, like David Platt, Paul Gascoigne. Even going back a little bit further, we had obviously Liam Brady from Ireland went over there. Rushy went over there, of course. Who else went over there? Keegan went to Hamburg. I don't think he went over to Italy, did he? but there was without a doubt more big name players that left the English league to go over there. So yeah, it was the big league back in the 90s when I was growing up. It was certainly the sexy league, and the one that you used to watch every Saturday or Sunday morning on Channel 4. But now it's the Premier League, which is great. It's great that we're watching the best league in the world. And people may say it's not the best league in the world. Some of the best players play here, there, everywhere. But I fully believe that the Premier League is the most competitive, the most hard to call when it comes to matches, and the most enjoyable to watch. There is some absolutely dire games. I'm not going to lie. I've sat through some games, even with a 1-0 or 0-0, and it's just fucking horrendous. But all in all, I certainly feel we get the best product over here, and we've got the best league to watch. Rushy went to Juventus as well, as you said. He's still working with Stevie up at Rangers, said Ryan. Well, there you go. That just lets you know quite how highly Steven Gerrard regards Gary McAllister. I'd have Gary McAllister around if I was a fucking manager and he was available as well, because what a footballing brain that man has. It couldn't be much about the game or the business, if you want to call it that Gary McAllister doesn't know. Lentini, first £10 million plus player, said Anthony Peters. Ray Wilkins as well. Yeah, you're right. Ray Wilkins went over to Italy, of course, didn't he? What a career that man had as well, by the way. What a footballer he was. AC Milan was a powerhouse in the 2000s. Missed them from the UEFA Champions League. Would love to see them back to face them again, said Fitzy. Do you guys remember, one of my favourite kits growing up was the purple Fiorentina one with Nintendo on it. Does anyone remember that kit? That was a belter of a kit. Maradona, of course, went and played for Napoli. But AC Milan, some of the players that went through AC Milan over the years, oh my fucking god. Seedorf, Van Basten, wasn't he at AC Milan? Ruud Gullit, Gattuso, Maldini, just so many absolute, and I'm known for getting so many because they've had so many through the years, particularly in the 90s. What a club, what a league. It's just not the same over there anymore, and Italian football is making a bit of a comeback, to be fair. There's been some more money reinvested in it over the last couple of years, particularly Chinese money has come into the league, and whether you consider that a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. Juventus built themselves right back up. They got relegated because I think it was for match fixing allegations or something. I can't be entirely certain, but they went back down. They built themselves a new stadium. They left the Stadio delle Alpi and they built themselves the Juventus Stadium, or I think it's called the Allianz Stadium now because I think they have a sponsorship deal or something like that. But yeah, they reinvented themselves basically, came back. Now they're back at the top of Italian football. They've got Cristiano Ronaldo at their club, one of the biggest names in the sport. So maybe Italian football is on the up and up, but I think as a whole it still has quite a long way to go to catch up with the Premier League. Trevor Francis to Sampdoria, David Platt as well. Craig, who's been our best Italian player to play for Liverpool? We haven't had many. Oh mate, that's a really fucking tough question. As you said, we haven't had many great Italian players to play for Liverpool. I'm thinking through them in my head, and somebody may have some better ones, but the ones that are coming into my head aren't exactly superstars. I'm trying to think of somebody who works, and I'm yet to find somebody. Nobody that I'd like to mention and say that they've done really well. Barini, shite. The Little Prince, shite. The Sena, he was alright. He scored against Manchester United. I suppose that's one. Other than that, have we had any great Italians? I mean, maybe I'm missing somebody really obvious, but Balotelli, shite. I can't think of any, to be honest. So it's a tough question. Oh, actually, hang on. There might be one, but he didn't really get much of a look in. Gabriel Paletta. Is he Italian? Remember he came under Rafa? Is he Italian or Spanish? He plays for AC Milan, or he did play for AC Milan for a long time. He was at Liverpool at one point, so does he count? Can I give him as an answer? Balotelli, I mean, that's just Barini. Best Italian we've had, none. Aquilani could have been great if it wasn't for injuries, said Fitzy. When we signed him to replace Xavi Alonso, and what boots they were to fill. We signed him, he was injured, which was mad to start with. We paid, I think it was 18 million for him at the time, and he was called the Little Prince at Roma. But even since he's left Liverpool, he's just kind of floated around from club to club, and his career never really caught form, whether that be because of injuries or because he just doesn't have the ball for it, I don't know. But it was one of Rafa's stranger boys, let's put it that way. Or then, though, I think it might have been one of those ones that was a bit of a hit and hope. What else was there? Argentinian Paletta. So there you go. I can't even have him. So then there really is nobody I can think of. Markovic could get away with being Italian. He's not though. He's been a journeyman, said Fitzy. The Liverpool team of the 80s wouldn't be worrying about Napoli. They'd be already planning their end of season party. Yeah, they would, Gareth, but unfortunately, mate, we're not back in the 80s anymore. We are where we are, and I'm planning the end of season party in my head, don't get me wrong. In my head, Liverpool have won the Premier League this year, and we've had a good run at the Champions League. I won't spoil it by letting you know exactly where we've gone, but it's all about the Premier League for me this season, guys. I've said it from the start of the season. I wouldn't begrudge us a good run in another competition, and of course I'd love to go far in Europe, but nothing would be sweeter than lifting that Premier League title. It would just be heaven. I don't know what else to say. It would be absolute heaven. Guys, just another shout out before we finish up on tonight's stream. We'll be doing a watch along of the Napoli game tomorrow. You can join us from 7:30. It'll be the usual antics. It'll be me giving you a bit of alternative commentary. We'll be dipping into the chat to see how everybody's feeling. All the usual stuff that goes in around an Anfield Agenda watch along. If you haven't joined us before for one, expect a lot of bad language. Expect me to be calling the referee and other players everything under the sun. I usually get quite animated as well during these, but it's usually a bit of fun. People seem to enjoy it. The numbers are usually quite decent for them, so I hope you can join us for that. And of course, we do finish up everyone with a bit of a post-match show. So we stay on for about 30 minutes after the watch along and get your reaction to what's after happening. Hopefully, we'll be here talking about another Liverpool win, a massive performance, and we'll be rolling into the game of the weekend against Manchester City, full of confidence, ready to go, and hit that international break on an absolute high. Let's check a few more comments before we finish up for the night. I'm all over the double, said Anthony Peters. Good night, Tom, to you as well. Ferno's only joining and we're finishing up, mate. I'm so sorry. Sometimes this happens. People just come on at the wrong time just when we're finishing up. And guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well before you head off if you're new to the channel. And hit that like button as well for the regulars. It's been a really quiet time actually in Liverpool land on YouTube, believe it or not. The numbers have been down for everybody across the board because for some reason or another things have just quietened down. I've no idea why. I said before, transfer windows are the big time, so I hope you can join us tomorrow. It should be a good game, should be entertaining, and of course the weekend as well. We'll be doing another one for the Manchester City game, although we'll be up late for the McGregor fight, so I'll probably be fucking wrecked for that one as well. A lot of people as well lie, I'm a bit early, said Ferno. Apologies on that one. Steve Lyons is saying good night as well. Again, guys, thank you to everyone for joining us for tonight's stream. It's been fun, but tomorrow is what it's all about. The Reds back in action against Napoli away. Tough game, not an easy place to go, but fully confident that the Reds can go there and get a result. So thanks to everyone that joined us on tonight's stream, and up the motherfucking Reds.